Friends, this is 20th April. The Russian war provoked against Ukraine crossed 50 days and Putin the great emperor is just turning out of balance. He is reeling under shame because Moskva find Moskva in Black Sea, drowned. Such a big Moskva ship drowned in Black Sea. Two missiles, two Neptune missiles, two Neptune missiles. By two Neptune missiles and drone, Bayraktar drone. This drone and two Neptunes hit Moskva, and the Moskva caught fire. The ammunition portion of the ship exploded. Ship got imbalanced, and while towing to Zelensky, the ship slowly sank into Black Sea. So the salvage plans are still not on plan, but still it's a great shame to Russia and Putin, because they have named it Russian Slava, the glory of Russia, the embodiment of seas, the epitome of all the navy ships that a state could boast of. Today it is safely sleeping in the Black Sea, causing colossal loss to the Russians. And with this, Putin is now just imbalanced and furious, and he went to 3 hours of silence, and finally he came out with a great order that by May 10th, by May 10th, May 10th, by May 10th, he wants to raise the total Ukraine down by shelling so many missiles and total Ukraine, east, west and total Ukraine. And by 10th, he wants his flag. He wants his flag. He wants his flag in Ukraine. Capture Ukraine. Capture Ukraine by May 10th. That is the ultimatum given by the Russian Emperor, the great person Putin. But what the New York Times writes, New York Times wrote like this. New York Times wrote, New York Times says what it says. Peace. Peace. Putin. Peace. It wants this. New York Times. It even called him a fool. Now Putin has become a laughing stock for the entire world, and he is now raged in furious mood and devouring total Ukraine and Ukrainian land and kings and everything he wants to devour by May 10th. Is it possible? The other people, including America, is telling now he will be forced to wage nuclear war. Also, offensively, he may give cyber attack also, cyber war, because the balance is now tilting total war. But the Ukrainians are facing trouble and trouble and trouble and trouble. They are dying and dying. Children, women are finding their shelters in the Mariupol city under the steel plant. They are finding not even getting signals. But still they have given the alarms. All you people run away. But they are not running away. They want to fight it to the end. Okay, there may be a loss, but they want to fight it to the end. And in this scenario, the great Russian Black Sea flagship damaged and abandoned. This has turned out to be the point why Putin is so furious now. He has become the laughing stock for the whole world. And we tell, I think as per the newspaper reports, he is another having 2 more such ships. But I tell you the story, with Goliath and David picked up 5 pebbles. 5 pebbles in hand. I don't know why he picked up 5 pebbles. But now Putin is having 3 ships in his control. Totally 6 were made, but now 3 are in control. one is drowned. So if we take 5 pebbles in the hand of David, he took the first pebble and he swirled it and hit it at the head of Goliath, and Goliath died for the first pebble. So all the other pebbles were not required for use. The point here is the first ship is now sunk. There are 2 more ships ready. Why can't he send them? Why waging only an artillery war? Because the people, Ukrainian people, have learnt how to hit the flagships. Though the flagship is equipped to bombard 5,000 rounds against any incoming missile, I don't know what happened, why they could not sense, or why, whether it was late before they sensed it. 2 missiles hit it 100%, and the open source independent organization clearly tells with documentary proof that the 2 missiles had hit Russian war ship, flagship. Damaged and abandoned. This name is Moskva. Moskva-Slava. Moskva-Slava. Slava means glory. So I read some excerpts from this. Let us understand. The Moskva and other Russian ships in the Black Sea have been used to fire cruise missiles at Ukrainian cities since the war began on 24th February, targeting infrastructure, fuel depots, military bases, and civilian administrative buildings across the country. A ship was struck with Ukrainian developed Neptune missiles, causing ammunition on board to explode. The vessel, he said, capsized and started to sink. Moskva was hit by Neptune missiles. Neptune, an extension of the Soviet-designed Kh-35 missile that can strike from truck-based platforms at both land and sea targets within a 200-mile range. Its main prey would be cruisers such as the Moskva, along with the destroyers and other warships. Ukrainian officials had said earlier that their forces hit the Moskva with cruise missiles and sank it. It's a hugely important military event and the biggest defeat of the Russian Navy since World War II. It is particularly important because Moskva is Russian for Moscow, and because it would be the biggest warship by tonnage sunk since 1945. Ukraine's demonstrated ability to hit Russian warships makes it much harder, if not outright impossible, for Moscow to launch an amphibious assault on Odessa, Ukrainian main port, military analysts say. The loss of Moskva could compromise security for Russia's entire Black Sea fleet. Moskva was providing a great protection for the total war and of the total ships which were traveling in Black Sea. But today it is lost. If some other ship comes, David had 5 pebbles in his hand, but he used the first pebble, and Goliath was hit for the first pebble itself. And now the Ukrainians have learned how to hit a warship. They send a Bayraktar, that is the drone. A drone is invisible, it works from 200 miles, and the radar had to do some multiple actions, and in between there was a chance, and somehow the Neptune missiles were launched and hit the ship. So even if the other 2 navy ships comes also, I think now the people are ready and equipped and experienced to hit the flagships. So he turned again his attention to the artillery war and again sending trucks and everything into the land. I think probably not from sea from now, and in somehow going into it and launching from a different place. But still the mechanism, the science and the defense technology is such that Zelensky is able to face all these things with the help of European nations, US and NATO and other countries, and he is able to single-handedly fight these forces. And if he wins again in ground battle also, or at least if he keeps the Russian forces away from his cities, that will be yet another big defeat for Russia. I think within a week time we will be understanding how he is able to, whether he is able to capture cities or whether Russian people are having a tough time. One of Moskva's key roles was providing air defense for the Black Sea. A strike on Moskva would force Russian naval units to consider operating at greater ranges from shore. So the Moskva was so fearless that it went closer to the shore. I mean, within a range of 200 kilometers. But now I think they won't keep any ship within a range of 200 kilometers. They would, even if they bring also, they would keep in a long distance. The MOSKVA, which was commissioned in 1982 and over 600 feet long, carried S-300 air defense systems and P-1000 supersonic cruise missiles. It was also outfitted with multiple rocket launching systems. Smerch-2. Ukraine last month successfully hit another Russian warship, the large landing ship Saratov, in a missile attack on occupied Azov seaport of Berdansk. That ship caught fire and sank, according to satellite images. With the attack frustrating Russia, plans to use Berdansk as a logistic hub for its military offensive in southern Ukraine. Russia never officially applauded that attack. So another ship which was sank earlier, Saratov. Russians, they don't acknowledge anything because they don't want to show their weakness. So this ship sank in the earlier times of this Ukrainian war. This was first to be hit in this war, and this was the second. This was comparatively not so big ship, but this is the pride of Moscow, MOSKVA-The, found in Black Sea. The Moskva-led Russian naval ground that seized Ukraine's Serpent Island at the beginning of the war, according to Kyiv, its Ukrainian defensive refused to an ultimatum to surrender, broadcasting the reply that is now emblazoned on countless billboards across the Ukraine and has become a symbol of the military resistance. Russian military ship, go screw yourself. Moscow disputes this version of events and says the Ukrainian troops on this island surrendered. So what they wrote? Russian military ship, go screw yourself. So after sinking this Moskva, the people were so emboldened that they wrote in the streets of all the cities of Ukraine, emblazoned on countless billboards across Ukraine, and has become a symbol of the country's resistance. And they wrote like this: Russian military ship, Russian military ship, go screw yourself. Go. Screw yourself. And they also have released a stamp in commemoration of the bringing down of Moskva, a stamp. A stamp released. These were the celebrations they made even amidst the so much of confusion, catastrophe and chaos. Amidst all this chaos also, the people of the Ukrainian government has released a stamp in commemoration of having sunk the glory of Moscow or Kremlin or Russia, that is the Moskva. And now they say, if you want to dive, that is the best place to dive is in the Black Sea, where the Moskva has sunk itself. So the people want to go and dive there. If anybody wants to go and dive, there is a beautiful diving place in Black Sea. Beautiful diving space in Black Sea. So they called it the beautiful diving place where ships can go and dive and get lost. The ships are going there and getting lost. Diving spot in Black Sea. So that spot where Moskva got entered into waters, sank into waters, was named as the diving spot where ships can go and dive and get lost. So happy were the people of Ukraine, and so also was the dejection Putin faced. The mighty emperor went and secluded himself for 3 long hours and thought and came and gave this deadline. He came out and gave this deadline. Deadline is May 10th. So immediately the American people, so he is giving such a deadline, maybe he wants to give a nuclear strike. But Russian people were telling, we are not giving nuclear strike. But they ordered many people and brought the soldiers from Syria, Libya and many other countries to fill the gap which they have lost probably. So even the Syrian people have come, Syrian soldiers have come to show their loyalty for him. And even the food supplies are now done from India, so that he would be very happy. But even India has also cancelled some of the military orders on helicopters very recently. The present warfare has shown clearly that the artillery attacks may not hold an answer for the future wars. Artillery warfare may be possible only maybe after capturing the country. After capturing the country, they can take a war, and if somebody is not coming, they can raise a missile and bring it down. Raise buildings to the ground. Only that an artillery tank can do. You can fire a missile, bring down the total building and raise it. But a simple Bayraktar brought from Turkey, confusing the matters totally and guiding the warfare. And now even laser weapons, they are telling, laser weapons. The warfare methods are changing. Whoever is having control on warfare, on air bases, airspace with laser beams, can now first strike everything down and then go and enter it, and then use artillery to occupy airspace. But simply firing from artillery or the missiles is only to kill people, innocent people. Innocent people are dying. And this war is not provoked by anybody. This is not provoked by Zelensky. This is not provoked by any other country. This is provoked by Putin himself to gain a loyal neighbor. He needs a loyal neighbor, and he needs a loyal neighbor who will buffer all his needs. I need my neighbor to follow me, to guide me, to be of my assistant, to be of my assistance every time. Needs a loyal neighbor. Needs a loyal neighbor. This is neighbor Ukraine, and buffer his needs. Whenever he calls, he must say, "Okay, sir." So also now Syria is coming to his help because on that day he helped him. But he wants his neighbor to be present at all times and every time whenever he calls. A loyal neighbor and buffer his needs seems to be harder. Again I write here, May 10th will show. By May 10th, he wants this loyal neighbor on his side. Maybe he wants him live or dead, we do not know. But by May 10th, he wants him live or dead. Maybe that's his intention. The whole world is watching and watching and watching and directing Zelensky. And Zelensky is a brave warrior. Zelensky brave. Brave soldier. So he is changing his hit list. Russia has changed its hit list, and now Zelensky is working out how he can now lead the warfare in this changing scenario. So again we read something about the great sheep. Russia is redeploying troops from around the Kyiv area to southern and eastern Ukraine, where it made early gains in the first weeks of invasion. Ukraine used the lull in fighting to boost appeals to the West for more weapons and sanctions on Russia, as several European leaders visited Kyiv on Wednesday. So in the first and earlier weeks, it was a difficult time for Zelensky to obtain the help, to seek and beseech the help and help of every kind for Ukraine. But now the help of the other nations is ready, full and active. And the latest reports go like this: even the European countries, the European unity, economic unity, or European countries are heading for the help of Zelensky, even at the threat of cyber warfare leading to nuclear warfare and ultimately becoming the Third World War. They are seeing in such levels. The protection of Ukraine has become a secondary point. Now getting prepared for nuclear war, cyber war is getting the top priority of warfare. This involves much other countries which may develop a great headache. All the war analysts and everybody is on work and analyzing and seeing what things are getting on. According to one independent source, last week or 10 times before, Russia lost totally 507 tanks. 507 tanks Russia lost. Ukraine 112 or something like this. They captured many of the Russian tanks and now they are in the hands of Ukraine. Now they can use those tanks. This is the report from an independent source with the documentary evidence. You can also see it. There was an old saying, one person wanted to stab another person. So he took a knife and went to him all of a sudden. He was not having knife. So this man went and wanted to stab him. And he stabbed and he gave an attempt. And by some fluke, the defensive person, he caught hold of this knife and stabbed him back. This mighty man just declared a war and went to him and shelling torpedoes, shelling missiles and attempting to kill him just because he wanted a loyal neighbor who buffers his needs. But today, the tanks, the missiles, the Bayraktar drone, the Neptune missiles, the warships are all turning and coming into the hands of Zelensky. We may understand that the person who initiated this launched this war unprovoked may face the heat and may ultimately become the laughing stock for the world. What if another insult comes on his way? Where can he hide his face? That's what Hitler did. Hitler couldn't show his face. Every Tom, Dick and Harry could come and ask, what happened to your Moskva? What happened to your war? what would he answer? Now he has to do or die. So, again goes like this. The Biden administration said Wednesday it would expand the intelligence it is providing to Ukraine's forces and send $800 million in additional weapons to Kyiv, including artillery, armored personnel, carriers and helicopters to help Ukrainian forces hold off what is expected to be a major Russian offensive in the eastern part of the country. So, apart from US, other European countries may also find and try to give their possible help to Ukraine to overcome this unexpected problem. And the food supplies in the Russian province have also run out. So everybody is seeking the help of its friends, allies, send some oil, send some rice, send some food, everything. And today we heard and today we hear that the stock exchanges, the people who invested, the Russian people who invested in world exchanges must get back their money, and that's the another thing today Putin thought of. So the war is leading thing step by step to even it is touching the exchanges, international stock exchanges. It is touching international stock exchanges. Stock exchanges. So where is the war leading? Putin. Where is the war leading? Is the war leading to exchanges? Is it stabbing on the wealth? Earlier people have invested in the global exchanges. The economy is running down. Both sides have lost enough. Russia lost whatever it lost. It lost 4 to 5 generals, lost men and tanks, lost MOSKVA-The great ship, and they claim that we have killed several Ukrainians. We may like the other house of my neighbor. The other house, the house adjacent to me, belonging to my neighbor, is very beautiful. But I can't aspire, I can't annex that. It is his property. It is his will. I can't ask him to sell it for me. The greediness or the importance that they build for themselves, thinking they are the controllers of the total universe, creates these troubles. They have to see their limits. The world is not yours. The world is not yours. Your area is your area. Be happy in that. Don't encroach into other people's area. If reports of Moskva sinking prove true, it will be emblematic of Russia's overall military effort thus far, tweeted Mikhail Kaufman, an expert on Russian military. No warship of such size has been sunk during conflict since Argentina's General Belgrano, torpedoed by the British in the 1982 Falklands War. No warship of such great size. MOSKVA-The mighty fall, 186 meter, 11,500 ton cruiser, 16 Vulcan anti-ship cruise missiles with a range of at least 700 kilometers, 64 S-300F surface-to-air missiles, 500 crew members it can carry, 32 knots or 59 kilometers per hour speed, 10,000 nm or 19,000 kilometer range. You boast of so much of such a great ship, but now rest in peace in Black Sea. Rest in peace. No longer you have any activity in war. You can rest and rest. Moskva was by far Russia's largest vessel in the Black Sea fleet, equipped with guided missiles to shoot down planes and attack the shore, and radar to provide air defense cover for the fleet. Hours before Kiev said it had struck the ship, it released a postage stamp with picture of a soldier making an obscene gesture towards it, commemorating the war's first day, which the ship ordered Ukrainian defenders to surrender an island outpost, and they radioed back, Russian warship, go F, bleak, K, yourself. President Volodymyr Zelensky paid homage to those who showed that Russian ships can go only down to the bottom. Down to the bottom. Russian ships can only go down to the bottom. President Volodymyr Zelensky paid homage. President Volodymyr Zelensky paid homage to those who showed that Russian ships can go only down to the bottom. Now the capacity of these people has raised the morale of the people. The Ukrainian people has surged. They sank one ship, they can sink the next ship, they can sink the at another next ship which they may deploy in Black Sea. So how many ships are they going to deploy? And the Ukrainians developed the skill and experience and valor to sink any number of ships that you may deploy. So all the big ships now would be just a big zero for Ukraine. कितने भी ships लाके आ रखो, ships, they will be drowned. Bring 10 ships, 10 warships, bring 10 mighty ships, they will be drowned. Now we want to put U-20 the aircraft, bringing U-20 into warfare. U-20. Now you want to see what happens of this U-20 airplane, warplane, which you want to now bring it into services. The flagship of Russia's Black Sea fleet has sunk after what Kyiv said was a Ukrainian missile strike, dealing one of the heaviest blows yet to Moscow's war effort and providing a powerful symbol of Kyiv's resistance against a better armed foe. Ukrainian resistance to a better armed foe, that is the mighty Russia. The mighty Russia and the resistance shown by the simple or the less strengthy Ukrainians. So the laughing stock and the global fool. Maybe it is very difficult to say such a great word. These are the two words we are hearing now: laughing stock and global fool. Would you like to remember them? Would you like to remember them? Would you like to remember these two words? Who is the global fool? What is the laughing stock? Laughing stock. Phone, who is that? Laughing stock. So the New York Times wrote very recently, "You fool, find the peace. Find the peace," they said. Before the globe ends up in nuclear annihilation, it's time we raise up and understand the need of humanity living on the surface, not anybody's prominence. I can't annex the house of the next person, my neighbor, simply because I like it or dislike him. If I dislike my neighbor or if I like my neighbor, for love or war, I should not disturb my neighbor. So that's why Zelensky very recently, 2 days before, he told, it is difficult to nowadays to believe the neighbors. Suspect your neighbor, that's what he told. Suspect your neighbor. So, till we meet again on May 10th or before time, till May 10th, watch the developments, pray, believe and hope that the present trouble will come down and the world lives happily hereafter. Just respecting the neighbors. Respecting neighbors is the theme of this war. This is Dilse with Ratnam, wrapping up and signing off. Thank you, thank you, thank you.